I am.
Well, good evening, everybody. I apologize. We are late. Oh, boy, 10 minutes late. Welcome to our Wednesday evening weekly hangout with mentors. And we are, as always, thrilled to be here. Our topic tonight is freedom. And I don't know, who doesn't want to talk about or think about or plan or expand your freedom, right? I think it's a pretty good topic. And we're all pretty excited to come here. What you're going to find different tonight is we're going to come at the topic of freedom maybe a little bit different than you've ever thought about or talked about before. We're not going to preach and define overall what freedom is, the big picture of freedom and all that kind of I guess the typical kind of approach to freedom, the beaches of the world and all that great stuff. That's awesome for sure. But what we want to do is kind of chunk it down and break it up into pieces, because what if you've always been thinking of freedom as this huge, possibly unachievable or unattainable goal or vision? What if it's a little bit overwhelming to you, or you just feel like it's so much to work towards? What if we can just highlight or illuminate some stepping stone pieces of freedom for you to reach, and it would all of a sudden feel much more attainable? You see, the thing is, we come to every week with some sort of topic that is important to us as a team and as a community, and we each put our own little spin on it and then tie it into our business and your business so that we can help you, mentor you, and something actually kind of magical happens. We help each other and ourselves while we're doing it. We motivate each other to step up in the next day and in the next week and the next month in our business. So that's what we're talking about today, the pieces of freedom today. And each one of us is going to tell you what freedom means to us. For example, I think it was about 6 weeks ago on one of our very first Hangouts, I actually had trouble finishing the sentence because I was talking about how I was really excited because I was leaving the next day on a flight to grab another little piece of my own freedom, because we each define our freedom differently. And it should be, how we define it and how we picture it should be so heartfelt and so important to us that it does make us feel vulnerable. Maybe it makes us cry. Maybe it makes us excited. It should light a fire in you. It should be so important that it either makes you cry or lights a fire in you, or both at the same time. And if it's not, then I'd like to ask you to rethink it. So anyway, enough about that. I'm going to let everybody else take the stage and share their piece about it. One little piece of housekeeping, though. If you're with us live today for the first time, please do get back with the person that invited you afterwards or during for questions. Also, take a look just a little bit below the video. There's this blue chat thing that kind of popped up. Just installed today, so have patience with us, but it's a live chat. If you click on that and say hello, if you have a question or something you want to say that's relevant to what we're talking about today, then while we're live, by all means, go ahead and one of us is going to answer you, but just be a little bit patient with us because we're not all in there and active yet, so it might take a few minutes, but we're going to try to keep up with the questions live. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of share that. Does anybody have a burning desire to start?
Well, I'm a little worried because my dogs are starting to bark. So I'm going to pass it over until I hear this calming down. I would love to start, but I got to make sure this is... I don't want that event to happen like that one night.
And that would be okay if it does.
Okay, yeah, it's just live, right? I mean, we know we're definitely working from home, that's for sure.
That's right. And that's why we're here. Lavette, would you like to speak on freedom?
I definitely would love to speak about freedom. Hi, everybody. I'm Lavette Pina, and My idea of freedom is being able to do what my heart desires, being able to give to others, the opportunity to be able to live their life of freedom as well. But in order to have freedom in anything and to achieve the freedom that most people want to achieve, you have to begin with your mindset. And your mindset really forms who you are. It definitely forms who you are. Basically, with the right mindset, you have the ability to know with certainty that you can achieve anything. And what I normally do on a daily basis is I start with videos. I start with motivational videos. And what happens with motivational videos, and I tell everybody that they should start this way, is you're able to start your day off on a positive note. And who can't succeed when you're thinking positively? They always say, people who live a positive life live a happy life. And I don't know what your situation is right now, but if you feel better, you do better. And that's a very, very famous saying. And so I don't know if right now the situation that someone is in is something that you want to reinvent yourself. We here on our team basically believe in living life with purpose. And the funny thing is, by living life with purpose, you're able to design the life that you want. I purposely joined DPS in order to have a better life. I chose specifically to join this team because I knew with this team that I would have the proper mentoring and I would be able to succeed even further than I have already. With success, as we're talking about, becomes freedom. My freedom has allowed me to, with my family, in the next couple of weeks, take a trip for 2 weeks. In September, go to Italy for 2 weeks. And it's an amazing thing because it allows this business and internet marketing gives you the opportunity where you make money. Whether you want to, donate and give money to other people, you have to know your reasons. My reason is being able to donate and being able to help others. Freedom at times can be difficult to achieve, as I said, if you don't know where to start. And as I mentioned, definitely start with the fact that you need to have daily rituals. If you have daily rituals, you're able to eventually get to your goal, which then allows you to have the freedom that you so wishly desire. I read this comment the other day, and it said, people are rewarded in public for what they did for years in private. So basically what that means is they work really, really hard. Our team shows you all the systems. We have a system that will help you achieve the success that you desire. So all these top income earners, including Tammy and the members of this panel, have worked for years. It's something that doesn't necessarily come overnight, and it's something that everybody needs to know, that you work toward your goal. You take the daily steps, and eventually you'll have your freedom. And freedom is one of the most amazing things to have because of the fact that you're allowed to do what you'd like to do. So I'll probably go and elaborate a little bit more as more and more people talk, because I know that we come back to each other further on in the Hangout. But, knowing that, everyone has a vision, but how you get your vision to become a realization and to receive your freedom is by the daily rituals that everybody takes and everybody does. So back to you, Steve.
That was awesome, Livette. Thank you. Thank you so much. As always, very eloquently shared. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy, did you want to speak now, or shall I go to Al or Ulysses?
Let's let one of the guys talk tonight.
Okay.
And then back to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Al, I almost often, or almost always, tongue twister, end up calling on you almost last. So can you speak on freedom now? And do you want to just say a little bit about who you are as well? I was going to ask you too, Livette, so next time you speak, do you want to tell them a little bit about who you are first?
Okay.
Okay.
And you're talking to me, right, Susan?
I am.
Okay. Hello, my name is Al Sims. I am on the team here with Tammy and Susan and Libet and Ulysses. And we're just all a group of normal people that work every day. I don't work 8 hours a day. I probably work a lot more than that as an entrepreneur, but that's by choice. But I've been full-time entrepreneur now since 2004. I have not had a W-2 income since 2004. So, this business for me has been a serious business for me for a long time now. And the thing about it is as Susan mentioned, or I think it was Lavette just mentioned that we did not learn this stuff overnight. The benefit to you having access to everything today is, I mean, we are so much further ahead than the old days, so to speak. When a lot of us got started. For me, for example, I got started in the home business industry in 1994 when Charlotte and I were 18 years old, and we got started stuffing envelopes. And then we saw this MLM thing, and we had no clue what that was, and we finally figured that out. So, I've spent over 20 years literally working, learning, training, buying courses, flying around the country to different trainings and, multiple different companies. But as Lavette said, it does not happen overnight. But if you stick with it, it definitely can provide you with the freedom that you need. Me, for example, I have 4 children um, that I take to school every day. I pick them up every day from school. My son was in preschool just this past year, so he only went to school a half day on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, I mean, you need a little bit of freedom to deal with those sort of issues in your life on a daily basis. If you have 4 children, you can't be locked up. You just can't do it. You will need freedom in order to, for your life to be able to run in a decent way. So I don't want to pick up the floor completely tonight. That's just some of the things that I wanted to say about who I am. My last job was with family business. We have adult foster care homes, and these are homes where we take care of mentally ill and mentally retarded adults. And basically, we have approximately within the family about 26 residential locations where we house 4 to 6 individuals in each of those locations, and a staff somewhere around 125, 150 people. We also have a jewelry store. My brother primarily runs our family jewelry store. And we've been doing that for a good while now. So I am an entrepreneur. I do a lot of different things. I also have an auto dealership license. I go and purchase cars from auctions and sell them for double the price that I paid for them. So there are a lot of different ways. Real entrepreneurs have multiple streams of income, and I definitely have multiple streams of income. So that's a little bit about me and how I create my freedom in my life, and I am open to helping and working with everyone as we build this team together. Back to you, Susan. You're muted.
I did it again. Thank you, Al. Once again, very, very profoundly in your just oh so quiet way. You delivered quite a punch there. Like, talk about open-minded and setting your own freedom up. You've designed your business around the freedom that you wanted to do, so you have multiple options to do. And you've always been doing it, and that's powerful. I hope everyone took some nuggets away from that, for sure. Lots of thinking going on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, Tammy, would you like Ulysses to speak next, or?
Yeah, I'm going to let everybody talk, and then I'm going to talk.
So you're going to wrap it up tonight. I can tell where this is going.
You know my strategy.
I haven't been able to get Mary Beth, a.k.a. Cindy, back on yet. Have you?
I haven't heard from Cindy. I haven't heard from her.
And for the audience, I'm going to, when I can contain myself without laughing myself silly, I'm going to tell you a little story about that. Ulysses, could you please talk to us about you and your thoughts on freedom, whatever you want to share?
Sure, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, everybody, my name is Ulysses, better known as Ulysses the Don online. And freedom to me is, you know, when I hear that word, it's pretty much what I want to do, when I want to do it. I would like to be my own boss. You know, that's what when I heard freedom, and when people talk about freedom to me. And I've seen a lot of folks who achieved, you know, who were able to have freedom. And, you know, I was like, well, I kind of want that, right? So a while ago, I guess I can say, you know, years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years, I've been in and out of this industry. And I started something back in about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was a program, you know. I got some information. I don't know if it was from a paper or it was from somewhere else, but it was a big ticket program, something like what we're doing here. But the problem was, you know, it really wasn't the issue of, you know, I didn't think that it worked. It was more so I didn't know how to make it work, right? But I did know that I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I didn't want to work a job where I would just spend all of my time. I would, you know, spend my time for money, you know. So I've worked a lot of jobs. I've been successful in a lot of jobs and had a chance to move up the ladder, you know. And as I did, the more and more time it took out of my life, you know, out of my life and out of my lifestyle from my friends and my family, and just things that I wanted to do, because, you know, you really can't go on vacations. You really can't just lay in the bed for 12 hours if you're tired, if you're working a job. And you have to get up and go to work on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever, right? So I like this business because it actually offers you the ability from your own efforts to achieve freedom. And it's really about what you put into it, okay? And as Lavette and Al said, it doesn't happen overnight. But by the time you start working your business and you start seeing results and you start growing, because it's not really all about the money. It's about what and who you become once you start learning and applying these methods to achieve your goals. So, you know, a year ago from today, I was a complete newbie, right? I had no idea I would be working on a panel with Tammy and Susan and, you know, Al and Lavette. And I've worked on other panels as well with other entrepreneurs. But I never thought that that would be possible for me. I didn't think, you know, getting into this business back then, I would be here. But it actually happened for me because I had that desire and I knew that it worked. And I knew I was not going to give up. Because the only way that you fail is when you stop, right? If you stop working your business, that's the only way that you fail. And that's what I tell all of my personal members, and that's what I tell people. You know, I didn't expect to get rich in 2 weeks or make $2 million overnight when I got into this business. I kind of looked at it as a business, as a real business. You know, most businesses out there, you know, they start up, and within the first 3 to 5 years, if that, they make profit from their business, right? But I seen the potential in what we're doing here, and you can actually do a lot better than that, a lot faster if you plug into the system and you just follow the strategies and the routine and the methods that we have going on now. So that is exactly what I did. I mean, I got started a year ago. I kind of try to reinvent the wheel and do things my own way. I know we're talking about freedom, but I just want to let you guys know a little bit about Ulysses, right? So about a year ago, I started, trying to reinvent the wheel. I was trying to do this and do that, and it didn't work. And then my sponsor at the time, they told me, they said, well, did you follow the instructions, what I told you to do? I did some of them, but I didn't do all of them, right? And I just made a commitment there. I said, okay, well, let me do what this guy is telling me. And if it doesn't work, then I know that it's just not for me. So what I did was I followed those strategies and those routines and those instructions that he gave me. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I made my sale. I made a sale with the business. And that's just made me so excited. After that first sale, I mean, you just want to, take off and just do everything in your power to build your business. And then I just start learning from there, folks. I mean, this is not something that is very, very difficult to do. Okay, it's something that needs to be taken seriously. I mean, you don't want to get into this and then 2 weeks later you stop because you didn't get the results that you wanted. I celebrate the small successes, the small wins, as I would say. Generating my first leads, I celebrated that. Talking on the phone to my first prospects, I celebrated those things. And as it started happening more and more for me, I understood that I was that much closer to making a sale, right? When you're generating leads and you're going through the process and you're connecting with your team. So freedom to me is the ability to manifest, whatever type of lifestyle that I want, because I know that I can take action into something and create and make that a reality. So I don't want to talk too long, guys. I know I just kind of got out there a little bit, but I just felt good about it tonight. So I'll pass it back over to Tammy and let you or Mary Beth come back. So I think she's just back in here now. But I just want to let you guys know that, and I'm sure that we'll go into further detail. But thanks for giving me the chance to share my story, folks.
Good job.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good stuff. So fun learning about everybody.
Isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
it? It's nice to hear a new little piece of everybody each week.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Thank you, Ulysses, for sharing that.
Well, I can jump in.
All right.
Okay, well, I had like a whole sheet, tonight to fit, like somewhere, and I lost it. So that's just me. And I have like lists, and I have sheets, and I have notes and stuff like that. So they're gone. But basically, I have a few here. So I'm gonna go over some tonight. Let's see. Do you want to hear a little bit about me? You said Susan first, and then. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who is Tammy?
Who's Tammy? Well, I'm an entrepreneur, okay, at heart. And I think one of the biggest things, well, I'm Tammy, better known as Team Tammy, #1. But anyway, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've been self-employed for about 26 years. And whenever I look at a business or review a business, I look at it for the absolute topic that we're talking about tonight is freedom. Now, I haven't always had lifestyle by design businesses. I've had where I've owned restaurants. I was telling Susan this a little while ago. I think it was probably maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I had restaurants that tied me down. I never got to see my kids. It was just a disaster. I thought that was going to give me the American dream. I thought that was going to give me the financial freedom, right, that I really wanted. So we kind of got over that, in our early 40s, and we said, okay, good, we did that. We've been in real estate. We're always, we're like Al. I mean, if the business looks good, if the business model looks good, then and it actually adapts to our lifestyle, meaning we have 2 kids. We have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old, and we have 3 dogs. So can this business fit into our family? So anyway, good thing we got the restaurant stuff out of our blood, because let me tell you, this business here is like like a dream come true, because essentially, I mean, just like I was almost late here because I was out, taking a walk and doing some stuff that I just like doing during the day. So I wasn't able to do that with those other businesses. So because of the internet, And because of the technology we have now, I can talk to you guys, and I'm not like running a restaurant with 22 employees, W-2, taking care of W-2 stuff. You name it, I did it, pretty much everything. In fact, what happened was we found out that we were thrown into it so much. It was supposed to be kind of like a side project, but then we found out that we had to do more and more of the work. So it was crazy for a couple of years, I'm telling you. So, but luckily we sold one, and then the other one didn't do so well. But we moved to Arizona. That was awesome to have freedom to move to Arizona. You know, I think basically what people are striving for in their life is freedom. I mean, it just it's within us, and you almost are either born with it. I mean, yes, you can obviously you know, get to the point where, you know, you're like us, like the entrepreneurs, but you can either be like born into it or you don't have it at all, if that makes sense. Some people don't want the freedom, they don't want to work for themselves, and that's cool. So you got to be someone that can actually, what I want to say is like someone that can make 10,000 in 1 week, and then the next week you don't make a dime. Like, in other words, if that's you, then you can run a business like this. I mean, some days you can make, you know, a $4,000 sale, and then the next couple days you don't make nothing. So freedom to me is a number too. That's another thing I want to talk about tonight. Freedom is a number. Like, in other words, what is your number that can get you out of your job, if that makes sense? Like, is it $5,000 a month? Like, in other words, what do you bring in right now to cover your bills, your debt service every single month? So that's what you want to think in the back of your mind. If I can just make X, then I can get out of Y. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can get out of my job. So that's what, in fact, that's actually what we did back then. And I was working 2 jobs, and, you know, before we got all of our mortgage broker stuff started, I was, you know, doing this and doing that. But the biggest thing is you want to take a look at your number. What is your number that you want to hit every single month? And don't say 10,000 right away, because like Al and Lavetta even mentioned, it's going to take you a little bit of, you know, time to reach your freedom number. Maybe it's you know, maybe it's 5,000, 6,000, whatever it is to take, you know, you to that level to be able to get out of your current occupation if you want to do this full time. So that's kind of like, I even talk about this, you know, one-on-one with people. You know, what is it exactly that you want to achieve? You know, and obviously with the commission structure, you can obviously make a lot more. You can make, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. You know what I mean? So it just depends on where you're at, and that's just one thing. And like Lavette said, she loves traveling. In fact, Susan actually was cool. I mean, Susan was traveling while we did a hangout, and then she went and she had to do some traveling. So you want a business that you can plug into to fit your lifestyle. You know, don't get bogged down with having tons of employees and all that kind of stuff. You want something where you can take it with you, right? You don't want to be bogged down. That's what the iPhones are for now. So that's what freedom is to me. Is, you know, hey, can I take my kids shopping today? Do I have to ask my boss? You know, no. So that's kind of what freedom is. I hope that kind of came out the way I wanted it to. Like I said, I lost my notes, so I don't know where they went. Maybe Bella ate them tonight. But that's basically what I wanted to say is, you know, write down your freedom number, right? Whatever it is, whatever your expenses are, and then work towards that. And then something incredible happens when you do that, when you write things down. I'm always writing things down. Something incredible happens. Your subconscious starts taking over, and then you're all of a sudden, wow, this is not so hard. Wow, I generated a lead. Wow, I just got signed up. Wow, I just made $5,000 this week. So then you got momentum. See? So that's when you can say, you know, finally, hey, I'm getting rid of this job. I want to work with this group, and I want to work with this group full time. So that's what freedom is to me, is a number, because it all comes down to, in my opinion, you got to crunch the numbers. That's just my way of thinking. So when someone says, you know, I want to do this full time, okay, then what's your number to get there? So I'll pass it over to someone else. Does that make sense, guys?
Great.
Right?
Yeah, great job.
That's great.
That was really, and looking at that number, like actually making that decision and looking at that number will help people really see what they need to work towards and what is realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people saying, I want to make $20,000 a month. Well, what do you make now?
Right.
I make about $3,000 a month. Well, that's a great goal, but I mean, so let's just first get you at $3,000 a month, and then now let's get you at $4,000. Get a little cushion for yourself. Get yourself a little cushion. I believe they say to at least have 2 to 3 months set aside, you know, for any emergency or something like that. So that's going to give you the freedom to say, hey, take this job and you know what, to your boss. You know? So, and I've seen it happen time and time again. People that I've helped and coached, and I love it because they're like, Tammy, guess what? I'm quitting my job. Those are the music to my ears. Tammy, I'm quitting this job. I'm working this full time. I love hearing that. So that's what you guys, you know, like I said, you got to have those goals. You got to have those numbered goals. Always crunch the numbers. Always crunch the numbers. So not only do you want a monetary goal, but you also want to build credit. You want to build assets. That's freedom to me. Real estate. You know, that's the kind of, you know, freedom that you want in your life and that you can attract once you get yourself set with some of the layers, like the foundation, and then you can always layer on other income streams. But you want to focus on one. I think I learned this from someone, you know, like, and it just made so much sense. You want to focus on one thing because we're not real good at multitasking, because you don't want to be over here like, oh my gosh, I want to go flip a property, or, you know, I want to run an internet business. That's going to be a little hard. Maybe first get your internet business running, you know, outsource, things like that, and then go do those things. So I know I'm talking, it's just that's my passion. I love talking this stuff. It's just,
Sound like you live this stuff.
I do. I do live it. And right now, honestly, look at Greece. I mean, these countries, I mean, if you're listening to this seriously, let's look at what's going on. I mean, the dollar keeps going down. Seriously, if you don't have something that you can fall back on, you know, prepare. That's all I'm trying to say tonight. Is just prepare, because I care about people that are listening, and I care about you guys on the panel. I care because it's not a laughing matter. Money is not a laughing matter. It can give you the peace of mind to actually sleep better at night, but it can give you the peace of mind for your family. Like Lavette said, she loves to donate, and that's awesome. I have a mother-in-law in Florida that we help. So whatever your burning desire is, then do it. Just do it in life. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm telling you, there's, you know, I read a lot of stuff and I hear a lot of stuff. I try to focus on, you know, what's going on with, you know, like I said, I mean, there's just so many different things I could go into tonight. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying, just prepare. Make sure you have your what we call your house in order, is what I'm trying to say. Because you will have, you know, some people will have it in order, some people won't have it in order. But you definitely want to have it in order so that you can still continue your freedom. Before you leave your job.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst thing. You don't want to, you know, I did it, but there's a famous saying, burn your bridges behind you. Because when you burn your bridges behind you, I take a lot, I mean, I listen to a lot of this motivational stuff. I listen to speakers, I go to live events. If you burn your bridge behind you, you have nothing else behind you, you don't have a net, you are going to make it work. Because your family relies on you to make it work.
You can't stop. You can't
We'll
help
make
it.
it work.
You can't help it. Keep going, Tammy.
I'm sorry, I'm just microphone tonight. Wow, you guys bring it out of me. Isn't that something?
It's all good. That's what the platform is for.
So I'm gonna stop talking for a minute because I want to hear Mary Beth.
I'll maybe touch on that burning the bridges,
Okay.
just to bring in another angle, if that's okay.
Yeah, I want to hear it because that's what I love hearing that topic.
I think it's a good idea, definitely, to do that because I see so many people that are still struggling, and you almost wonder if they're just not pushing hard enough because they do have that safety net, they do have that money coming in, so it's not essential. And really, money is one of those essential tools, just like oxygen is to breathing and allowing us to continue living. Like, we cannot live without breathing and oxygen. And
Exactly.
we also cannot live without the tool of money. We need it for nutrition, for safety, security, shelter. It's essential. And then we add on to it these freedom choices.
Sure.
And my bridge burnt. I didn't light it on fire. It burnt within the blink of an eye, right?
Same with me.
So I think that's why once I realized, and I went for years before I even realized that I had an option. So that's kind of another reason why freedom is a passionate topic to me, is because until you know that you have different options, I thought I was free, and then once my eyes were opened and I saw what other freedom I could have. It was overwhelming because I thought I was free, and I really wasn't. Now I am, and there's even more that I can get to, right? So don't realize what you don't realize. So I hope that you, as the audience, realize just really how valuable this is. If you just really contemplate what we're saying, you might not even realize how much more freedom you could choose. That you have more choices than you realize. And what we're talking about is the conversation, of course, and the atmosphere and all of that. But when you combine that with what the products that we have, when you combine that to state-of-the-art lead generation software and lead generation experts and all of the strategy, it's like an explosion of freedom that maybe you didn't even know was possible. So
Can
yeah.
I just say one more thing on that? Piggyback off of what you said. Yeah, I just got to piggyback off of what you said, because you said that it was actually beyond your control, basically, right? I mean, you had something that happened to you in your life that you had to find something else like this online. So that's actually kind of what happened to us. And because of our industry, like I said, entrepreneurs, restaurant owners, finance people, all of a sudden that industry went kapooey. So the first thing, that I started doing was trying, MLM and things like that. The first successful and the real big time money was because of big ticket. So big ticket has always done very well, for my family and I. So the thing about it is now it's like, okay, now we can have other income streams. But I'm just saying, like, the thing is something happens in your life. So when I hear people say, well, I'm going to be losing my job or whatever, don't wait. Don't wait till you lose your job. Get going now, because get going with something now. We want you to get going with direct pay system, but I'm saying get going with something so that you can, don't procrastinate, in other words. And because it's just not going to work out that way. But I just wanted to say, the other thing is, like, with a number, if you know what you need to do and you need to make every single month, then again you're going to be able to have that relief and just say, okay, well, and that's one thing. It's like I said, when people say, well, I have this or I have that, baloney on the fact that you don't have time, because we all get the same 24 hours in a day. So don't tell me you don't have no time, and don't tell me you don't have no money to start a business, because I've done crazy things to start a business. I've sold gift certificates. I've sold stuff on eBay and things. You know what I'm saying? So those two things, there's no excuses there. So, but yeah, I just think that was really good what you said, Susan. I think that people got to understand that we've been through a lot of stuff in order to get to where we want to go, you know, where we're at now.
Mhm. You know, I want to say something to piggyback off of you, Tammy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when people say I don't have the time or you don't understand what I'm going through, you know, I think simply put, you know, a person's life or your life if it's a bad life per se is the way of your existing thinking. That's how your life is. If you don't change the way you think, as the saying goes, nothing will change. You know, we're a group of people here that have had, you know, some fair amount of success. And I think a lot of times, because of the way people think, they surround themselves with people who are similar to them. And it's so funny because when I used to work a job, I used to leave jobs, I have to be honest, like every 2 to 3 years. And the reason I left a job was because I always wanted to advance or have more marketable skills. So I always wanted to learn. So the thing is, if you're surrounding yourself with the people that are exactly like you, there's really no one who you can strive to be like because you're already like them. So if you surround yourself, and the saying is, if you surround yourself with six-figure earners, constantly six and seven-figure earners, then eventually that's who you're going to be like. That's what you're going to end up being exactly like. And so if you want to have the freedom that you richly desire and the freedom that you should have, then you need to change
Mm-hmm.
your way of thinking and surround yourself with the people who do have the freedom that you want to possess. So I think that's where people need to really think about that and say, okay, I don't like the way things are going for me right now, and I have to take the steps in order to change it. And if you're unwilling to take the steps, you're going to continue to live the cycle that you're continuing to live. So,
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you,
That's
Lavelle.
sure.
perfect.
Mary Beth,
Yeah, I'm here.
you're
I
here. We have your camera on, everything.
Good. Yeah. And what I want to, share with everybody tonight is what I'm finding when I'm speaking with many prospects, every single week, week in, week out, almost day of the week. I think really when someone's looking at what we have here, there's really a strong correlation between, behind their why. I mean, if their why is strong enough, like why they actually want to break free, make a change, or have a better life, whether they're looking to completely transform within a specified time frame, more if they want, supplement existing situation, what they're doing, and whatnot. I mean, it really stems down and boils down to that why. I mean, if it's strong enough, then they're going to propel forward and they're going to see exactly what we have here. I mean, I've been online now since about 2008, and in my honest opinion, there's just nothing quite like what we have here. This business model, this team. I mean, we literally have everything to be able to help someone who truly wants to help themselves. I mean, everything, from the products, the team, all of our success, all of the support that we give, one another and we can bring to new people, our training, the lead generation tools, everything that's, packaged up inside of Direct Pay System. I mean, it's all here for someone to be able to, work this. I mean, this is about as easy, simple, automated as it gets. I mean, I don't think anything out there quite has, everything that we have here, the resources, the value, the benefits, all the bells and whistles. I mean, the tools are here for people to just kind of plug into, follow directions. There's nothing difficult, about this business model. I mean, the compensation plan, the resources, the tools, it's all here for someone. And I think they can definitely leverage their time, especially with the callback request service, have other people do the follow-up, plug into the traffic packages, the different marketing strategies that we have that we teach, and they can just plug into traffic, let somebody else drive the traffic to their site through the solo ads, for example, the voice broadcasting, the media buys. I mean, all the automated, I think, marketing packages and strategies are there for them to help them to get what they actually need, which is leads. So there shouldn't really be any excuses when somebody actually gets started, with our team, and moving forward to be able to generate those leads and then convert a percentage of them into sales, and quickly build their business, scale up, and have something that's really going to benefit them and their families, both in the short term and in the long term. I think you just have to come into this, like all of you have indicated, with realistic expectations. I think if people just keep it realistic, they're going to be able to see those, small little successes, and then they're going to be able to take those, capitalize and build and scale up their businesses, over a reasonable period of time. And going forward into the new year, they're going to really have something that they're going to be proud of, that's going to be able to help them and help their family. So everything that I think somebody could really want to help them, fulfill their goals, their dreams in life, and be able to help themselves and their families is right here. I mean, I don't think this model really, what we have, we've taken this, we've perfected it, it's become bigger and better over time, and it's just really the perfect business model, and we have everything that I think somebody needs for success. It doesn't really get any better out there. So if people just keep it real and realistic and treat this as a business as opposed to a hobby, I think they're going to really do extremely well and be able to, have exactly what they want and what they desire. As long as their why is strong enough and they bring those, realistic expectations to the table, to the team, I think really with direct pay system and the limitless income team, the sky truly is the limit. And I'm just so thrilled to be part of this opportunity, part of this team, and I'm just looking so forward to the future.
I would like to, if I could, I don't know why I'm echoing like that. I would like to just piggyback off of Tammy and also Mary Beth here with the number. What is that?
He's echoing, yeah. Am I echoing? Uh-oh.
No. Try again, Al.
Am I still echoing?
No.
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 Someone may have their actual Hangout on, maybe?
I'll try. I'll check. Adjust the volume for now. Okay, try again.
Oh, it disappeared.
He fell off. So maybe that's what was happening. His although I'm hearing me echo now too.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. Am I echoing now?
No.
Okay.
I think it may be fixed.
Yeah, it is. So you have the floor again now.
Okay. Again, I was going to tag team with Tammy and Mary Beth regarding the number. Tammy was talking about, you have to know a number that you're after, and once you know that number, it is important that you do the math with the opportunity that you are considering joining, so you understand what it takes for you to reach that number. So, for example, I have a simple $1,000 test. And that test is, what does it take with your opportunity to make $1,000? And the fact of the matter is, most people in MLM companies or network marketing companies really have no real idea of what it takes to make $1,000. For example, if your number is $3,000 that you need to make in any given month, you need to know that if you're only making $50 fruit, you need to know the math and what it's going to take you to reach that $3,000 number. So, for example, with the opportunity that your number was $3,000, there's a number of ways that you can do it. It really does not take much as so, for example, if your number was $3,000, you could work with, you could find someone at $1,000, at the $1,000 package, for example, and if you simply sponsored 3 people at that $1,000 level in any given month, that's $2,700. That's $2,700, and the fact of the matter is you can't show me any network marketing company where you can make $2,700 by sponsoring 3 people. And the reality is it's the same work to sponsor someone into a network marketing opportunity as it is to sponsor someone into a big ticket opportunity. And the fact of the matter is it may actually even be easier because you're dealing with a different clientele. Essentially, you're dealing with people, in a lot of cases, who may have a little bit more experience in the industry. They may have been with other network marketing or multi-level marketing companies where they're used to making 2 to 5% commissions, on $50 purchases. So we're talking, $50 a month times 2% commissions, and you're talking, I don't know, a few pennies a month, and so you have to multiply that by thousands of people. So when you're looking at an opportunity, you want to do the math so you know the reality of what you need to do to get to where you need to go. And what I would say is, in the current environment in the home-based business industry, it's going to be tough to build a multi-level marketing company to even $1,000 residual income level in the current environment. I don't care who tells you whatever they want to tell you, because Tammy and I and some of us here on the panel have tried it. And it is not an easy thing to do. There was a time where you could do it, where it was a lot easier to do it. But nowadays, when you're getting something, flashed in your face literally every 5 seconds, people are not going to pay. Some companies have $100 a month auto ship where people can barely make, $100 a month with 3 or 4 sales or sponsors or recruits. So, we have a pool here. We have an opportunity here where you can tap in and begin making what I call grown people money from day one. Small ticket programs are for younger situations. I don't know even what to say. I don't know what they're for if you want to make money. Just to be honest with you, if you want to make money, you really need to consider making an investment, and it may be a one-time investment that you have to make here of $500 or $1,000 investment, whatever level that you can come to. If you make that investment and then you get to work and you make one sale or one recruit, you've made $450 or you've made $900. And for some people, that's more than their weekly income. Some people, that's more than their biweekly income. So you really just need to get yourself in a position, do whatever you need to do to make the investment in yourself and in your family, and then put yourself in a position where you can plan to grow yourself while you grow your business. And if you plan to stay for the long run and realize that you will make it if you stay around the right people and the right mentors, you can do it. But really all you have to do is make the decision, because everything else that you need to succeed is here for you. You have a team of people here that you can work with, and that's all you need. You can succeed. Leave the floor with that. Everyone's muted.
Wow, that was good. Some really good points there. I just want to quickly make one point after that, and then I'm going to open the floor again. Now, you don't have to feel, if you're in the audience and you really love your auto ship and your MLM and everything, you don't have to feel that we're competition, because we're actually not. We're about lead generation. So if you love building your whatever your opportunity you're in, essentially, You can keep that if that's something that particularly resonates with you and you have that audience. What our software and strategies do is accentuate and increase your reach and the amount of people that you can talk to. So it can work really well with what you're doing if you like that MLM. But otherwise, that's a good point. And exactly why I joined DPS. Big ticket goes a lot further. Tammy, I know that you have something to say on that, on what Al did and on that point.
Oh yeah, I always do. I mean, Al, that made just so much sense, you know, and I laugh because it's because I've gone through it. I'm not laughing because it's a funny joke. It's because I have gone through it. So honestly, you know, it is hard because the problem is most, and this is going to maybe sting a little bit, but most of the MLMs, like Al said, this is grown-up income, okay? So we have grown-up bills, right? So the thing is like, we want to put our kids through whatever. I mean, we want our kids to be entrepreneurs, so you need to have some substantial money here. I think the thing is like most MLMs, people they'll rely on their downline in order for them to make the money. So that's one problem, and that's the thing, that there's no freedom there. There's no freedom with that kind of business model. And like I said, some people are great at that and having, you know, what was it, Al, how you said that? I think it was so perfect. If you have to recruit so many in order to make $3,000 a month.
Well,
Whereas
what I was saying is, if your number is $3,000 a month,
exactly.
to achieve, you need to know the math that it will take.
Exactly. Correct. Exactly. I mean, you get, you know, 2-3 people at the 500 even. You know, you're at 1,500 a week. So, I mean, it's just, the thing is a lot of those companies are that expensive. A lot of those MLMs are. I mean, I'm not going to name names, but you got a lot of those companies that you do have to come up with $500 to $1,500 just to join. So why not join something where you're going to get 90% of the commission, and then your sponsor's going to get 10. So that's the kind of team you want to build, and that's the kind of business you want, the structure. I've never had such a great commission structure ever in any of the home-based businesses that I've ever had. You know, so I mean, that's the cool part about it. Once you start building the team, is you get those 10%, and those are awesome, and those are what we call the, you know, another little freedom part of this. So, but yeah, I mean, you have to crunch. You just really have to crunch the numbers. You have to look at, you know, what I always go through whenever I look at a business is the, you know, I look at like I've told Susan this before too, and she likes how I explain it. But you want to look at like 3 things. So you always want to look at, you know, obviously the obvious, which is the money. So, like I said, that's just that was brilliant though, how you explained that, Al. I liked it. Very well said.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Yeah,
absolutely. Makes
total sense. One of the freedoms specifically that big ticket and DPS gives for me personally, and I know some people will resonate with that, is I had to push really hard with the MLMs that I did. The one that I did, I think 27 or 29 people I was bringing in, but I had to work really hard to get those 29 people in. And another one, I had 51 people in, and so, you know, depending on your price point, that can be great or not so great. But I had to push really hard because recruiting is not my strength, and I get that. I listen to the point of, you know, if you just work at it hard enough, it'll become your strength. And I pushed it, but my team wasn't able to duplicate because I was willing to put in the long hours and do the stuff that was really uncomfortable for me. But they weren't duplicating, so I was always being frustrated. Whereas now, there's honestly no part of this kind of work, working with lead generation and explaining just how to teach people just to go back to the tour page, so act like a tour guide, and then having conversations like this. Like, there's not one part of this business that I don't like. I love it all. So that's freedom in of itself. Like, to choose the pieces that you like and automate the other parts is essentially all that we get to do. So that's freedom too. Closing thoughts.
Exactly.
Anyone?
Get started.
Get started. Yes.
2 words. Get started.
Okay.
And then, hey, is there ability to take questions or no? Susan?
Yes.
On the page.
There's that chat below that I mentioned earlier, in case you popped on since the beginning, because I haven't re-mentioned it. I don't think. But there's this little kind of blue bubble, and it says chat on it. You can open that up, and one of us can answer your questions or discuss anything with you. And even throughout the week, we can periodically check into there, so you always have live contact with us. This recording, if you're watching it live or if you are watching the recording, every Wednesday we have a new topic, a new recording that goes up, and it stays live on the page for a week. So we'll be popping back in, and you can ask questions and get in touch with us, get back to the person that invited you. And that's kind of the housekeeping stuff. Every Wednesday at 9. I do want to talk about something on that. And this is freedom. This will help you create your freedom. Every Wednesday we show up on this panel. And I mean, we're all busy because we're actively building our business. But we choose to show up partly because we usually have a few laughs and we kind of just like hanging out together. But we're committed to provide this value with you. Like, we do this on purpose, and we show up. So here's what we expect of you. Whether you're on our team already or whether you're thinking of joining, we will give you this same commitment. This is how committed we are. We show up every week. This is just one of the things that we show up for. So we're asking you to show up, and we're going to keep showing up. You show up, we're going to keep showing up. The more you give, the more you get. That's
I like that.
That's how we're going to roll with that. So unless somebody else says something, I want to point out the 3 things that you need to have in place to expand and create more freedom. And this, I got the idea to create this because Tammy has this really good idea or description, as she was mentioning, of the 3 things that you need to when you're deciding what product or opportunity to present. So this is kind of the same concept if you're really clear. And so to start off to expand your freedom and step into your freedom, we've all talked about it, but at different angles and from different perspectives. So I just want to zoom in on it. The first thing that needs to be in place is your mindset. It all starts within, and your best and most sustainable motivation and determination will be intrinsic. It starts within. So you have to, you'll have heard the term that you have to get your mindset right. Well, that's what they're talking about. It has to come from within. You have to want it bad enough, love that really well, whatever. My grammar's terrible sometimes. She talked about it good way. Never mind. Okay, I flubbed it. Forget it. About how important your why is. You know when you said that thing. So the inside, you have to look after the inside. Number 1, to expand your freedom. Number 2, there's certain tools that need to be in place. So and you have to have money to invest. You have to choose software that actually works and products that people want, that work, and that people actually want. Like, there's things that have to be in place. So ask good questions, ask us questions, go through the tour page, and just really think about that. So it's kind of like the hardware, let's say. So the software is the inside, and then you have to choose the right hardware and put that intrinsic, put everything together, and those are the 3 things that you need to expand, enhance, or step up your freedom. And that's how I'm going to wrap it up.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot, how you explain that. And you know what? We actually have some bonuses today, tonight. And if you guys on the panel are not sure, because I have told a few, I don't think I've had a chance to tell Mary Beth. So anyway, just, we have some bonuses tonight. So for anyone that joins tonight, we have some freedom bonuses. And again, I've talked maybe a little bit about outsourcing. So we are all loving this one certain resource that we use daily. So you will get that information for free, and don't take it lightly, because it took me 9 months of searching to find this person. So you will get access to that. So anytime you're saying that you're busy, again, we have solutions pretty much for everything. So I love outsourcing. It's my favorite thing to do. Honestly, just it frees up your time, and it gives you that time freedom. So anyway, definitely get back to the person that invited you to this so that you can get that bonus as well. And then there's some others that we will keep a secret until you get back to us. So that's all I wanted to say, Susan. Thank you so much again for having these. I appreciate you. They're awesome. I can't tell you how thrilled I am every week to be able to meet here. It's great. Appreciate it.
Awesome job tonight, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. That's pretty powerful.
Hi, Charlotte.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, John Boy.
Who?
John Boy.
Mary
Ellen.
Good night, ladies, and Ulysses, take care, buddy.
You too, Al. All right, everybody. Good night.
See you later, guys.
We'll see y'all next week.